There are some challenging verses in the Bible, things that it just wrestle with and seek to understand. And one of the most challenging verses that I have experienced at one time is Matthew 27:46. You see, I read it when I was still young and I was trying to wrestle with, should I be a Christian? What about this God? What about this Jesus? And the verse, Matthew 27:46, is Jesus on the cross saying, my God, why have you forsaken me? And I can remember thinking, I thought Jesus and the Father were tight. This seems to be Jesus saying, hey, you're failing me. You're not there when I need you. And I was troubled by it. And I can remember asking about it and having someone share with me, well, God had to turn his head to allow the sin of the world to be upon Jesus, and there was a separation there. And I can remember thinking, okay, well, okay. Honestly, it wasn't that satisfying to me, but I thought, all right, I'll just kind of put it on the back burner a little bit for now as I continue on my search. And it was 2 weeks later, I came across, coincidentally, or looking back, I would say not necessarily coincidentally, I came across Psalm 22. And the first verse struck me. It said, my God, why have you forsaken me? And then I went on to read the psalm. And there were various elements that reminded me of things that happened when Jesus was on the cross. Actions that took place. Things that happened to him. Things that were said. I remember stepping back and thinking, wow, there seems to be a correlation between this psalm and the cross. And as I looked into that little student Bible that had some commentary, I found out that psalm and other psalms were written hundreds of years before Jesus came. That struck me. I also found that the Psalms during Jesus' time were not numbered. So if they wanted to quote a Psalm, they wouldn't say, well, hey, take a look at Psalm 23 or 37, etc. They would quote the first line in the Psalm to reference it. So if Jesus wanted to alert all those around him while he was on the cross, many of whom knew great parts, maybe hugely significant parts of the Old Testament, the way he would have alerted them to Psalm 22 was by making a statement, my God, why have you forsaken me? And in their minds, it would have triggered, yeah, okay, that's that Psalm. And they could have thought to themselves, oh, this is pretty amazing. That Psalm written hundreds of years ago is playing out before my eyes in terms of actions that are taking place, casting lots for his clothing, things that were being said. And it should have been striking to them. And I'll never forget, as I studied the verse and the psalm more and more, becoming convinced that, it probably wasn't a coincidence that Jesus said that on the cross. In fact, it seemed reasonable to think that Psalm 22 had a prophetic element, that there was some reality in the there and then, but there was also a reality in what happened to Jesus at the cross. And that when he made that statement, again, that was relating to situations that were happening in the moment, but was also drawing people back to that prophecy.